Hello, my name is Doug Davison. Today I'm going to show you the official Dungeons & Dragons rule set and how to create a character for play during Fantasy Grounds. So the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to come into the main Fantasy Grounds launcher screen, and from here you'll have an option to join a game, and then inside of that you'll create a character which would then belong directly to that campaign. So if you're not available to show up for one session or whatever, then someone else can play that character. The GM will have control of that character sheet from that point forward. Another thing that you can choose to do is to use the manage characters, and then you can build a local character that you keep, and then you can use that character to join into any other game whenever you join a game. So that's what I'm going to focus on today, is the manage characters option. So you'll select manage characters, and then you'll be presented with a list of rule sets to choose from. Here we're going to select 5e, and then we're also going to select a theme, and I'm going to use this 5e theme Wizards. You may have different options available here. There's going to be a couple different themes that we might package with various products, but for now just choose whichever theme you want, whatever look and feel you want, and then hit start. And that will load up the basic rule set and then allow access to whatever products you've purchased. So the products that we'll have available for Fantasy Grounds are going to basically be a customization pack for general characters, which will have all of your equipment, information on races, some of your generic abilities, and the reference material on how to create a character for Dungeons & Dragons, the latest version of Dungeons & Dragons. So that's information that's helpful to have available when you're ready to play. On top of that, the other option that you'll have is to pick a class pack. And once you pick a class pack, then you'll be able to basically select which one of those abilities you want. It'll help kind of facilitate a lot of the data entry portion of it, and give you the spells or the abilities that you'll need access to. So in addition to that, there's going to be another one which will have all of the classes available. That's going to be another option that you can choose as well. So for now, let's shift back over. This is what it would look like, and you'll want to go into your PC's window, and here you'll see I've already created one character called Sarlacc, which is a local character. You can do a couple different things. There's a right-click mechanic that you can use normally. Here you can click on the Edit Item and hit Add Item. That'll give me a new blank character sheet. And so now you'll see if I show this here, I've got now two characters. So the first thing you want to do is set a name. So let's call this person Rufus. Here you also want to pick a picture. And then you'll be presented with a number of different bags here. You should have one that says D&D if you've purchased any of the class packs or the official products here. I'm going to click into D&D, and then once that loads up, these are some different images that I've got available. So I'm going to go ahead and create this looks like a little gnome guy. Create him, select that picture, and then here you'll see this is whether you have inspiration. Then the next thing you want to do is put a class and a level, and here you can kind of type that in, or if you have a class pack, you can just drag and drop it and it'll pre-fill some information for you. So what I'm going to do first is I'm probably going to roll the abilities, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is you have a couple different options. You can just use the standard matrix, which is 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. And then you can arrange them in whatever order you want. So since this person's going to be a wizard, I'm actually going to switch those around and go 15 here. I'm going to leave 14, I think, on dexterity. Let's make strength a 10, 12 wisdom, and then 8 charisma. Not very charismatic. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the library, and you'll see that it's blank by default. Now I need to activate which modules I want. So we're going to go under the assumption that I have the PC customization pack, and you'll see that's listed down here. You'll click and drag that open, and you'll see in the background it added a new section to my library. Then I'm also going to grab the wizard pack and do the same thing. Now I've got two options in my library. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the PC customization pack, and I'm going to pick a race because that's probably pretty important to the rest of my characteristics. And so here I'm going to grab a gnome. So you can click on any of these, and then you can see the picture of what the gnome looks like from the player's handbook. It has all of the text and the information that is normally included in the player's handbook. It's important to read through this information and to make sure you really understand that type of race and how they might act within a campaign. Here it tells about the various abilities. Here it says that my intelligence score won't be increased by 2 when I'm this race. It talks about my age, alignment size, some special abilities that I have here, and some languages and some various sub-races. So here I can read about the different sub-races. I can read about a forest gnome. I can also read about rock gnomes and deep gnomes. So I'm going to take, I think I like the idea of the forest gnome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a forest gnome character. You'll see that they have their own special abilities too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gnome race and I'm going to drag it over here where it says race. And now it's going to ask me which sub-race I want to select. So I'm going to choose forest gnome and hit OK. And you'll see that it automatically set my race as forest gnome. If I ever need to refer back to that, I can then, this is already open, I can click on this little link here and it'll pull up the information about the gnomes. And so now I've got some dark vision. It increased my intelligence to a 17. And you'll see over on the side here, these are your saves and your bonuses that are linked to those. The thing that it doesn't have yet is I don't have a class yet. So let's grab a class. And I'm going to go to my class pack. Again, if you've got the deluxe set, then it'll have basically a list of different classes here. But much like the race, I'm going to click and drag on that corner and make it larger. You can size it to whatever size makes the most sense for you. So I'm going to read through here. I can look at the picture again. I can scroll through, read about what it takes to create a wizard, the information that's important here. It also talks about the different abilities that you get at different levels. So it says at level 1, which is what I'm going to create now, I'm going to get spellcasting and I'll have the arcane recovery. Here's the additional abilities that I'll get at different levels. And then down below I've got how many spells I get at each level, how many spell slots. And then it talks about what my hit dice per wizard level are, hit points at first level, and at higher level, weapons that I have access to, and then my starting equipment if I choose to go that route as opposed to using the character's starting wealth. So I'm going to, I like the way this looks, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this wizard class. I'm going to grab it from the top here and just drop it onto my class and level. And here it's going to say that, okay, well, I should get 2 skills that I can choose. So I'm going to choose Arcana and I think History and select those. And now you'll see, let me move some things out of the way here. In the background, as I've been adding these things over, it automatically added a few features for me. So it just saved me a little bit of work. Alternately, I could just drag those to the character sheet. So if I wanted to go under abilities, you'll see now I have, oh, it tells me I've got arcane recovery. And now I can read about what that means. I can read about spellcasting and what spellcasting means in the Dungeons & Dragons game. And then here I've got my other special abilities. If I wanted to, instead of using that, I could also just drag and drop these over, or I could just right click and say create item, and I've got my feature is Gnome hooked nose, and then say, okay, well, what does Gnome's hooked nose do? So this, for instance, if you're using your own homebrew material and you've got some other special features or traits or proficiencies in your game, you can always go through here and then you can say your nose has an exceptionally strong sense of smell. Get advantage on all perception checks using scent. Okay, so that could be maybe my special ability. And now when I'm ready to play, I can just pull that up and then read what that ability is down the road. And so can the GM. Okay, so I've got, I'm going to read through some more things here. So I've got basically a quarterstaff or a dagger I can choose. I could choose a component pouch or an arcane focus, some equipment, some other items. So I've got my main tab kind of all set. I've got all my abilities in there. You'll see that my hit points automatically set to the max plus my con bonus. If I did this in a different order, let's say if I added my class first and then I did something which modified my con, then I could just come through here and I could modify it just by typing in whatever you want. So it's not going to lock down the character. What it's going to do is it's going to allow you to do things that you would do in a pen and paper game. So you can pretty much erase and write over any of these attributes. In fact, if I wanted to have a 25 strength, there's nothing really stopping me from doing that. Now, the Dungeon Master can look at any of the character sheets and can see them at a glance and then wonder, okay, well, why do you suddenly have a 25 strength? But that way, it's got the same flexibility that you do when you're playing a pen and paper, game. So I think I had, what did I have? Just 10 there. Okay. So the other tabs here, you've got your skills, and here's a list of different things. You'll see that I've got Arcana and I've got History, which I am trained in both of those. If you have any extra bonuses, let's say, again, you've got a homebrew campaign, or you've got something else that's giving me a bonus to maybe Intimidation for some reason, then you could just type in a number there, and now it'll take the combination of those two. I had a -1 total, now I've got a +3 miscellaneous bonus to give me a +2. Furthermore, you can make notes in each of these sections by clicking them and filling them out. Under the abilities, again, we talked about that a little bit. You can add anything you want here. If you pick up new languages, you can add those. Under inventory, you'll see that this has a section for equipment, and then it has some treasure, and then it keeps track of encumbrance down here. And this is going to be based off of my strength. It's going to do a lookup and then automatically fill that information in. So what I need is I need to go to my PC customization pack. And this is going to be important because it's going to be useful information for everybody. So every class is going to really need the same sort of stuff. So I'm going to grab a weapon first, and I'm going to grab a quarterstaff instead of a dagger. So I'll just drag that over, and you'll see that here it says, okay, well, it knows that its weight is 4, and if I click on it, it tells me some more information about it. It knows that it's versatile. I can use it with 2 hands to do additional damage, and it does bludgeoning damage. The other thing that's interesting is now that I drag that quarterstaff over, if I look on my action tab, you'll see that now I have an attack, which is a d20 + 2 for 1d6 bludgeoning. So I'll be able to use that in game by just kind of double clicking it or picking it up and rolling the dice. Again, same thing with the damage dice. You can pick up and roll that, and you can't really see that because it's behind everything, but in the background it basically rolled those dice for me down here. I don't need the class anymore. Get rid of a few of these things. I'm going to actually minimize this so it's out of the way. And I minimize by using our right-click menu. Okay, so I've got a quarterstaff. Oh, now I need that open actually. So what else do I need? I need a Arcane Focus, and I need a Scholar's Pack or an Explorer's Pack and a Spellbook. So let's minimize that again. Let's grab, I don't need any more weapons, so I'm going to grab, I believe there's some adventuring gear that I can look through. Let's see, Explorer's Pack is one of the things, or a Scholar's Pack. So if I look at these, it'll tell me what's in each one. I think it makes sense for me to go ahead and do an Explorer Pack, as I'm going to be moving about more so than staying stationary. So I'm going to drag that over. Whoops. I'm actually going to go back to my inventory tab. I'm going to drag that and drop it here, and you'll see it automatically fills all those things out. So one thing you can do here, you'll see that there's a location. So it has a backpack and a bedroll and some other stuff, but I want my rations to probably be stored in my backpack. So I'll start typing backpack, and it recognizes and stores it there. Same thing with my tinderbox and water skin. I can probably keep that on my belt, but let's say I stored that in my backpack for some reason. Now all of those items are listed there, and then here I can say this is on my belt, for instance. Quarterstaff I'm carried, maybe. So you can fill this information out and change it, as needed. But the nice thing about putting them all in one location is it keeps them all together, and then it also is going to sort alphabetically by the name. If I use any of these torches, then I'll just kind of change it to say, okay, well, I don't want to carry that much weight. You'll see here my weight is 58. Let's actually change it. So now if I drop a few of those torches, then my weight will automatically adjust. So it makes it real easy. I don't like to track encumbrance when I'm running a game like in person with pen and paper, but when you have the power of the computer to be able to do that for you, then it makes it really pretty easy. I think the other thing that happens, I think, is Explorer Pack also comes with, I don't think it actually has any gold. Maybe that's the Scholar's Pack. No. Oh, I'm thinking of the background. Okay, so now I've got a few of those items. You can pick your Arcane Focus the same way, but let's skip ahead and let's go to our background. So let's grab a background. So here I'll go to Backgrounds, and here's the list of all the different things. So I could be, in this case, let's be a sage. So let's just drag the sage over, and now it's added, you'll see again in the background, it's added a few new things to me, basically. So now I can go into Sage, see what that looks like. That's what the sage looks like. But I actually want to grab a specialty here, and I'll roll the dice. And so my specialty is going to be a discredited academic. So that doesn't really have a place to store it. I could click into here and I could edit that because that's now my copy. Or I could just go into my notes tab and say I am Rufus is a discredited academic. Okay, so I'm done with that list. Now what else do I need? I need my other sage abilities. Alright, so what we want to do is under notes, I'll grab a personality trait. Okay, so let's grab a sage personality trait. Again, you could just pick one of them from the list if something sounds good, or you can use the table to automatically roll. So let's grab this one. This kind of gives me an interesting, idea as a character. Let's actually drag and drop that here, and it'll place that text for you. Let's grab an ideal, same thing. I'm based in logic, and grab a bond, and grab a flaw. Okay. There we go. And then I can further customize my appearance by just typing in what Rufus looks like. So Rufus is a chubby and gregarious little fellow, whatever. Pick a deity, pick an alignment, maybe chaotic good. Once you become part of a faction, like maybe you join the Zentarum or the Red Wizards of Thay or whatever, then you would put that faction in here and just kind of type it out. And then if you have a DCI number, you can record that information here as well. That could be useful later on. Okay, so next I need some other actions. I need some spells. So spells typically go under the Action tab. And again, if I look back at my wizards, let's see. I'm going to shrink the screen down a bit. I don't need quite as much room. So spellcasting, if I look at that, it'll tell me, okay, at first level I know 3 cantrips. And let's see, at first level I have a spellbook containing 6 wizard level spells. So I'll need to grab 3 cantrips and 6 first level spells. So I can go into my library and I can go to my class pack, and then here I should have spells. And I have wizard spells. So let's grab that. And I'm going to grab a couple cantrips and just drag them over. So let's grab Firebolt. I like the way that sounds. Here you can click on them and you can read what they all say. But let's grab that real quick. Let's grab maybe Shocking Grasp, and how about Acid Splash? Sounds good. Go into preparation mode, and you'll see what that does is as I've dragged them all over, I can pull them up just by clicking on the link icon and then read what they do. The other thing I can do is I can expand those out, and I can see that this one is going to require a melee attack with a +2, and then if it hits, it's going to deal damage of 1d8 lightning damage. If I look at the Firebolt, Firebolt is a ranged attack with +2, and it's going to do 1d10 fire. And again, you can pick these up. Anytime you see a damage dice indicator, you can pick them up and roll them, and that'll come into play when I actually get into combat. Same thing with the attack dice. You can just pick them up and roll them, and it'll show the result out there. There we go. Okay, so I've got those spells. Now I need to look at my wizard spells. First level wizard spells, sorry. So I can click on these to shrink or grow it, so you can kind of expand out and see these are all the different level spells up from level, the cantrip, and then level 1 through 9. So I need a few level 1 spells. I'm just going to quickly grab, let's grab Grease, maybe Mage Armor is good, Magic Missile, Shield, I really like in this new edition, Thunder Wave, and let's say Unseen Servant. So I think that gets us up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. The other thing you'll see that this now that I've dragged spells over, there's a spell slot section. And so what that's going to be is, again, if I just look here at my spell slots per level, I've got 3, at first level I've got 3 cantrips and 2 first levels I can cast. So 3 and 2. Okay, so now, minimize that again. Now I've got those spells that I can go into preparation mode here, and I can kind of prepare which one of those spells I have. Okay. All right, so I'm all set, ready to run, and now we're good to go. I think this character is pretty much complete at this point. Here it tells me what my class is, my experience points, what I need to get to the next level. Let's talk about that for a second. So if I look at that, what that's going to be under the library is here under the customization pack, I've got a reference. So I can click on the reference manual, and this has got information from the player's handbook that you can then read up about. This is how to build a character, the information that's included beyond first level, more information about races, classes, that sort of stuff. So this is going to be helpful to read through this. Make sure you understand this. It's the same material that you would have in the book, and it's actually, frankly, it's a little bit easier to read in the book, but it's nice to have it available directly in the program as well. But you can kind of read up about your character. And let's see, I need to look at where experience points are beyond first level. There we go. Okay, so level 1 starts at 0, and then at 300 XP, then I get to level 2. So what I can do is I can just click here and say, okay, my XP is 0, next level is at 300. And I can just keep track. As I get awarded experience points, I can just refer back to here and see how close I am to a new level. So that is very quickly how to build a character. So I now have Sarlacc with his abilities, and I have Rufus with his abilities, and I can use either one of these in a game campaign. So look for more videos here. I'll do maybe a few more different types of characters. I'll show you how to do the rolling, the point buy, the roll 4, drop the lowest. You could also just as easily pick up and grab 4 dice, roll those, and then say, okay, well, I'm going to take the 10 out of here, or you can use this roll tab and then say, you know, what kind of rolling mechanism you're going to do, or use the points tab as well. And then just drag that value over to your character sheet. So again, if I was to look at, let's say, Sarlacc, see if I was using the roll 4, drop the lowest, I could say, okay, well, roll 6 sets of dice, roll 4, drop 1 of the lowest, and I could just pick up 4 dice, roll it into the window, and roll horrible, and then I could drag that over and say, okay, well, now I'm going to give it to my charisma. Then it's as simple as that. Okay, thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy playing with Fantasy Grounds.